Ow, don't bite me. And they bite hard.
Whoa. In order to come around here, so. Hold on, mix. Get out.
A little bit much, eh?
Yeah, it's a little bit much. I ain't gonna lie.
Hold on.
It's not like we could even make a U-turn and like,
U-turn?
rally back. Trap way.
Only you barely can turn much less you talk about you.
You can't turn.
You cannot turn. You have enough gas, Mr. Willie?
All hands in the vehicle. Do not leave the vehicle.
Hey, that is it. That's why.
Yeah.
So if we even need to drive out by the water, we can drive out by the water.
When it's full, you can't carry it. You go middle and come back and carry it back.
Oh yeah.
So guys, and there on this vlog, what you're seeing here is random water on this roadway that we don't know where it comes from because it's a clear, beautiful day. And there's just water here. Come with me to see some crocodile. You take your time, yeah, really.
Drive hard in the mud and water.
I don't need to see you, but I'll slide
Like
over.
a mean one in the pen.
But slow down.
A clean place.
Sorry to hear about that, yes.
Maybe they know the power in on
Really when you drive thing, be for some.
Yeah. Oh, look at that queen.
One or two times, it's like something within a while.
No, I'm kind of scared. I know.
One guy with looking for me, sir. Yeah.
I tell you when I'm on board the road. I tell you all phones at the same time. Alright.
Okay.
I don't know quantum scheme. I don't know. I never
Yeah,
quantum scheme.
My question is, how did they get around?
You take them open the gate and come through?
The wounded boy's mother told Radio Jamaica News that her son has been left frightened by the incident.
Turn left.
Name, Polly?
What time? What time the charter? Make it on. No, we need to drop the white one. Take the back.
No.
We organized this tour because we realized in recent days that a lot of persons are coming in contact with crocodiles, and there's a lot of fear and mysticism surrounding crocodiles, and persons are harming crocodiles. So we think that it is important for persons to be better educated about crocodiles, to understand their value and importance to our ecosystems. And so we hope that by doing this media tour, the message might get out about crocodiles who have been here longer than all of us. You know, it's on our coat of arms. When Columbus came here, they saw crocodiles. We have been existing with them for hundreds of years, and we can continue to exist with them for hundreds more years to come. And so it's important for us to be able to understand their place in our ecosystems. So we're going to be doing this tour. We have a lot of channels of getting the message out, and we're excited about that. We're grateful that you're here. We look forward to the information that you're going to be putting out. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be touring the sanctuary. We'll be led by Mr. Henriquez, who operates the sanctuary. After that, after touring, if you want to conduct interviews, we believe we have Hope Zoo here. Would love for you to be able to interview him because he's a part of this whole initiative to protect our crocodiles. We also have Treya Picking, right? She is from the Jam Croc initiative. Love for you to be able to interview her as well. We have with us our environmental officers, Leighton Mamdeen and Damani Calder. We want you to interview them from a NEPA perspective in terms of what NEPA is doing to help to protect our crocodiles. And we certainly want you to interview Mr. Henriquez to find out what it takes to be able to run this sanctuary, all right, and how the public can cooperate with us in protecting our ecosystem by protecting our crocodiles. So we're going to start the tour. Mr. Henriquez will be leading the tour. He will take you through, right? You can even ask him questions while you're on the tour, right? Anything that you see that you may want clarification on, he will be able to give you that information. And then if you want a formal interview with him afterwards, you're free to do so. But we're going to meet under the tent.
All right, good people. Welcome to Holland Bay and Holland Bay Crocodile Sanctuary. We'll do a walk around because inside the center is sort of not really the place to go right now, but you'll see quite a lot of just a quick walk around so you get familiar with the surroundings of the facility. The front here is one enclosure, which right now, what that does is it keeps some of the younger crocs here away from the main sections because these smaller animals, we're in the breeding season and they will be targeted by the larger animals because breeding season means small animals don't belong near nest sites or large crocodiles. So they will get injured or even killed. So we keep them out here. There's 5 of them here right now, 2 slightly larger, a male and a female, and 3 young males. So these animals are all based at the sanctuary, but right now, until we finish our breeding and reorganize a few places, they stay in this area, because this is basically just a holding facility. You can see one right there. That's a little one that the police brought me about 5 years ago from Bath. It's blind in the left eye. It was barely about 16 inches long when it came here. It's now about 5 feet. It's doing quite well. We don't release it back. We keep it. And we just let it go and spend its time here. That's how we operate. We don't like to keep too many animals. And what can be released back are brought in as part of our program to rehabilitate them back into the wild. But we do maintain a stock of animals here for education and conservation, and also like an insurance policy that if push comes to shove, animals can be used for reproduction to help where there may be problems due to animals being basically disappearing from various areas of habitat due to poaching, etc. Because we do unfortunately have poaching as well as indiscriminate killing, which is what we want to try and get in people's heads to stop doing. So come, let's have a look at the place. So we're actually based right where the old Holland Estate ruins are, which is the original sugar estate, which went back to the mid-1700s when it was first created. So there are a lot of old ruins around and inside the facility, buried or even standing bits and pieces. So we're a sanctuary for protected species on top of a national heritage site, which is sort of unique in Jamaica. And I think it sort of serves the purpose very well based on the fact that we're right by the wetland, because the wetland areas right along the coastline, and the canal system, which was part of the whole sugar operation over the years. Waterways provide ideal habitat for the reptile, and for its food sources, which are mainly fish and crabs and waterfowl, while you know, herons, moorhens, coots, that type of thing. So here now we have young crocodiles here, which some of which are reared here or born here. Also rescues from time to time. So these animals are around about 2 to 3 years old. There's not a lot here. It's probably about between here, about 18 or so. We will probably one by one over the next few months or so start reintroducing back maybe into the wild. As long as they're healthy and the rest of it, we put them back. We hope they can find a little home for themselves. Behind you here, this is the security personnel for the sanctuary. This is a rescue, or should I say recovery, from Morant Bay 4 years ago. In the main drain at Morant Bay by the park. He's known as Pirate. Pirate is a young male. He's around 15 years old, we reckon. He's about 9 feet long, weighs about 450 pounds. He basically serves as the sanctuary mascot. So what is happening now with Pirate is he controls the whole front. He walks around, does his thing. Nobody troubles him. He doesn't trouble him. He's just here. So this is it. So don't be too apprehensive about having a big crocodile right beside you. Unless you go right up into his face, he's not going to do anything more than okay. He's very mild man. In conservation, crocodiles, wetlands, etc., want to come to the facility. You don't want an animal that is exposed to them without fencing and the rest of it, that has a, should I say, a not too nice a disposition. Because you do have crocodiles that do have, you know, little idiosyncrasies which you don't want people to be fearful of them. So we have one here that basically sort of tends to relax people. But that doesn't mean that the crocodile is an animal that you can just go up and pat like a dog or a cat. You can't do that. You might end up in a big problem. But at the same time, it shows that these animals, they really are pretty good natured for the most part. They're not out to hurt us. So, you know, it's respect and also understanding the behavior of the animal and how you interact with it, which is basically don't go right into their face. Just allow them their space. And they're cool, very cool. But if you go in and you molest them and the rest of it, the chances are you're going to end up with something you don't want, like a mangled arm or leg. You really don't want. And then the animal gets the blame, and it's not the animal's fault. It's not aggressive behavior, it's defensive behavior. So I tell people that they're defending themselves. They're not being aggressive to you. They just don't want you near them. And you have to appreciate that. A lot of people don't. I saw a video a couple of years ago out at Holland Bay of this crocodile laying down on the beach, and a couple of guys went down and molested it, and boom, Croc grabs his hand. Who's for? Don't do it. Just stay there, leave the animal alone. The animal will go about its business, it's just taking a rest. But if you go there and trouble it and it bites you, it's your fault. Come folks. Enclosure here. There she comes. This is Xena.
Whoa, bro.
Now why Xena is coming up here is because Xena has a nest right there. Xena's nest is there.
Oh, Xena is a warrior princess.
The big bull, Blacks, he's inside here. He hasn't shown up his face yet. That's the boyfriend. He's big. That's about 600-pound crocodile, about 11 feet. But we are bigger. But Xena is defending her. She's curious now because all you people here, she's got her nest. The nest has been in since the 11th. She nested on the night of the 11th. So it's barely in there a week now. So we're hoping that the eggs will band. Normally after about 10 days, you'll see banding, a darkened band starting to spread across the egg from the middle going out. That shows that the embryo has lodged, it's developing.
She's a mother.
Yeah, she's going to the nest.
Yeah, she's watching it, every one of you.
Where are the eggs?
The eggs are in that mound. Yeah, about a foot deep in the ground.
Oh.
Probably her nests are around about 28 to 30 eggs, usually. So you're probably looking at same again. Older days, like when I was a youngster, 9, 10-foot crocs, females, were producing nests. Now you've got 7-foot crocs producing this. So if they're adjusting to environmental pressures and everything.
Here she comes.
So she just watching. Normally when they nest, females watch. They look after their nest. Huh? And he doesn't eat that
Calico
much.
view, please.
He doesn't eat a lot.
Blacks, come here.
What is that? Why you call him blacks?
Yeah, I've had blacks from 2012. He and his brother Harry next door.
They're brothers and sisters?
The two males there are brothers. I've had them. They came from Donny Bunting's farm at Longville Park. They were on one of the fish ponds when they were netting up the fish. But this is Julie. Hey, Jules. So they're right in here. Hey, Bobo, you all right? Yes. She's a good mom. Good mom. And here's another female with a nest. This is Maria. Maria's nest is here. Again, I might move this nest and incubate separately because the water levels are a little high here. And you don't want the nest to get water soaked because that would kill the eggs. Because they need to have gas diffusion for the eggs to get oxygen and let go carbon dioxide. Because the eggs breathe. There's another female in there who hasn't nested yet. That's Elizabeth. She's an older female. But she's having a little eye issue right now. And the male in here, I don't see him at the moment. He's big as well, like blacks. But she's a good nester. She comes from Clarendon. She was Salt River. She used to stop the goldings getting on their boat to go fishing. They could come up on the gangplank for a while and sit there and say, I don't want to get to the fishing boat. They got to the boat. They couldn't. Maxine is a good sized female.
Who named these animals?
People may know I named them. Maxine, she was the one that dropped her eggs. I came back the other morning, and poor Maxine was struggling to dig. You see, she started, the ground is still hard. So she just said, I can't be bothered, and started to plop them out. So I just put a little loop on the end, put it through the fence, and draw them here and take them up to the incubator. I got all of them, thank you. So she's still guarding, she still thinks she has a nest. She'll soon get over it. Next few days. But this is Maxine. Down here. I said, what are you doing here?
No, these are all in the fence, man. There has to be a hole in the
she want to go
fence.
back in. So in order to get her back in, I have to open the fence up, unzip the fence, and push her back through. So she decided, I just want to climb out and have a look. And then I have to go to the trouble of opening the fence and push her back in.
Did she resist when you put out?
They're very good at burrowing as well.
Okay.
They dig under the fences.
Oh, right.
But I feel like they probably prefer.
So the big ones like blacks and you can't buy all that stuff.
Yeah, I feel like it would be very hard for him to try.
To climb, that's trample on the fence. But you know, I've seen like you used to have like a 12-foot or 13-foot crocodile on Black River. And we've seen videos of how he like pushes on the dogs in the boat dock. And it's incredible because it's just like these tiny arms just like stubby little arms.
So the one was out earlier, went in somewhere around. They go through the middle because there's a breach, and we're going to redo all of that. But you can see there's water everywhere. So the crocs are everywhere. A lot of the time they will come out and sun or, just chill. But a lot of the time they'll be in there. So it's like the wild, except it's enclosed by some chain link. So they do their thing. And this is good for them because it reduces their stress levels. They feel that basically they're in the wild. So they will defend their territory because their territory is this boundary for the most part. So they get defensive of their territory. And this pump pumping around 17,000 gallons an hour. We have a backup pump which is under repair right now, which is like an emergency pump which operates off of petrol. But right now we're just using the electricity. The larger crocs really are confined to sanctuaries for this area. But there are one or two biggish animals, mostly down on that side of the coastline. There used to be a lot of crocs in the Holland Bay and this area in the old days, but over the years the population has steadily declined, which is a shame, but as long as it doesn't go away, that's what we want. We have to have crocs. We need. Yeah, sorry about this. That is a 13-foot male, an old male. Flasher. Now he's gone down. I'll bring him up. I'm going to bring him right up. All right, this is a big croc. He likes his privacy. Sorry. Okay. Come here, Flash. You may not come with everybody. There it is.
I hope I'm getting it.
So, like for instance now, 2 years ago, because last year's nesting, all the eggs were infertile. I think a lot of it's to do with the weather. But the year before, we had 4 nests and we let everybody hatch out themselves. In other words, the females dug up their babies and we had babies all over the place. And every so often, you find them loose around. They go look on the cat.
PTSD.
Yeah, the eggs are infertile.
What does that mean?
That means they didn't bang. It means they didn't give
Not viable.
Where's it? The male?
Either the male didn't do his job or the temperatures are too high.
So long. After them lay the male.
Yeah, if the nests are too shallow and the temperatures are high because the sun was bad in the early part of last year, the eggs will overheat. They have a very fine temperature range before you have a problem. They're normally between 88.5 to 91 max degrees Fahrenheit. If you go above 91, the chances are kaput. No hatching. The eggs will cook. Joey, this is cake.
It's not there?
No, he's here. Stop going anywhere. There you go. There you go. Come here. Ow, don't bite me. And they bite hard.
You look like you've got a
Yeah,
few
they will bite. See?
bites in the past.
Where are his tail?
Careful, guys.
Bite me.
Everybody back on you. Be big.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, you see it? Yeah, stir it over, let me grab it. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, grab it. They bite hard.
bro.
That's why I say even a small crocodile, the teeth are like needles. But it's not too big, not that big. Yeah, so this guy, he was like a string bean when I found him in a puddle. So he's 2 years old because he would come from a nest from 2 years ago in the summer. So basically, yeah, he's coming up to 2 years come June, July. But he's doing well now. He's putting on back some body mass and the rest of it. But as you see little teeth? They're like needles. So even an animal this size, there's no blood. So,
We
but it's
see
not
the
gonna-
blood.
Huh?
We see it. We
You
see
see
it.
the blood. But that's part of the course. I mean, you don't worry about it. What you don't want is a big one biting you, because that will damage tissue, nerves, blood vessels, everything gets
Take everything.
shredded. Normally, males will mature about 11 years or so. Females slightly younger, like a year or two younger. They will reach reproductive maturity. But with what is happening with the pressures on environmental pressures around the world, you're finding female crocs actually are maturing a little earlier. So they're actually coming into breeding a year or so before they would normally breed.
Quality of the species that's produced.
Well, it's an adaptation to basically compensating for the problems that the world is facing with global warming and the other bits and pieces. In terms of viability, in terms of genetic, structure, I don't think it's really making that much of a difference. They're just adapting to come into reproductive age earlier to deal with what is taking place. But I don't think it's actually causing them a problem in terms of the quality of the progeny. But as I say, these guys, they're lovely animals. They can rear a hatchling crocodile like a Nile crocodile in Africa, or Parosus, which is a saltwater crocodile, or even the Philippine crocodile. They can rear a hatchling crocodile in 2 years, close to 6 feet in length, which is what they want for culling. We're not into that. We don't want to do that. They do grow fast sometimes. Some are more competitive. Some will eat like horses. But the thing is, you don't want to bring them. I'm not because of the water. I'm not going to take you down to Daisy.
Oh no, Daisy.
Yeah, if you want, you'd have to walk on the side so you don't step in the mud right there. Where are you going to take them? I was going to take them down to Daisy.
Person. Here, so you're fine. That's the only croc here. Just want to make sure everyone's fine. You guys are fine. This is the only croc.
Oh, where we're going?
He's got to find the real quick.
Oh yeah, when you move, it's really great. He's right there. He's just chilling.
Chilling? For how long?
He always stays chilling. He doesn't move out. No, go ahead.
Alright, cool. I don't want to go further.
Everything is showing on camera. You not do justice.
The big one?
Yeah, but he's trying to find out where he is first.
Oh, trying to find out.
It's not going to reduce the meat.
Oh yeah.
So the green, it's difficult to get him in the green.
No, man, he's gonna come up and then go.
Yeah, you're going to... This is a crocodile.
Let's come along here. He's not gonna turn the bank.
Whoa, bro. Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa, bro. I wonder if I'm sure about that.
And I can just sink one.
That is a crocodile, which is definitely will not want you back there.
What's his name?
Rogue.
You mean somebody go rogue with that name?
I'm doing my
The meat eater.
Hold on. Behind the fence. Hold on, child. No, come up here, man.
No money now go come up.
Okay, maybe then a little close.
Frog's just like, why are you bugging me?
That is a classic, what we call a classic specimen of an American croc. Jamaican variant, because they are found in other parts of the Caribbean basin, South and Northern South America. etc.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned that these are the American crocodile.
The American crocodile.
What are the features of the American crocodile? What
Differentiates.
distinguish
Okay.
them?
One of the main features, obviously the scale patterns or the scoop patterns on their backs, on their dorsal and the rest of it, so other species, they're all different. A lot of the scoop patterns are different. But one of the main distinguishing features of this particular species of crocodilian, from say the Niles or the saltwater crocs or Siamese crocs, is that rostrum. On top of the snout, before the front of the eyes and before the nostrils, is like a bump. A raised bump. You can see it on skulls. It's a raised bump. Other crocodilian species don't have that prominent bump. So it's one of the distinguishing features of this
But all
crocodilian.
crocodiles have this rounded front snout.
No, crocodiles tend to have more tapered snouts.
Right, that's true.
Alligators more rounded
That is
because the upper jaw of an alligator is slightly larger or wider than the lower jaw. So what you get is an overlap,
Right.
which means that the bottom teeth, you don't see a lot of the bottom teeth in an alligator. You'll see some of the top teeth, but the bottom teeth are hidden because the jaw overlaps. And of course the jaw is more rounded, the snout is more rounded. Crocodilians tend to be more tapered, more triangular, but the teeth, because the jaws are the same size, top and bottom, the teeth mesh. So it's like a zipper. two species of crocodilian that actually are saltwater tolerant. And by saltwater tolerant, that means they can live in estuaries where the saline content is quite high, or even in the open ocean. Not necessarily permanently, but to use them as roadways, moving from A to B. Using the sea as opposed to traveling on land or through a river course. This species is one of them. And the saltwater crocodile from the other side of the world is the other species. So what happens is, after about 3 weeks since the animals hatch, the babies start to develop what we call salt secreting glands, which allow them to be able to go into saline conditions and not, due to osmotic pressure, lose fresh water from their blood chemistry, which would mean basically that they would dehydrate. So the first few weeks of hatching, you'll find baby crocodiles tend to stay in freshwater type environments like little pools, or close to the mangroves where there's a supply of fresh water, or the saline levels are lower than actually going into sea. Because they were in salt water, they would actually basically perish. So there are only two species, and this is one of them. This one, that's why you see them swimming in the sea all the while. They're up and down in the coastlines. They are now, what the American croc is capable of doing though, and they've done it in Central America, Costa Rica and Guatemala and places like that.
That's it, that's him?
That is the duckweed monster.
The one that we just saw?
Yeah, it's a snout coming up.
Oh, okay.
It's a log. It's a log.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
These guys, it's catch, crush, or rip apart and swallow. So they don't need a tongue. They don't chew. But they cannot catch food underwater if water enters their lungs, because they have to open their mouth. So that valve comes up and locks, so they can grab a fish underwater and come up with it, and then they have to open their mouth to swallow it. They can't swallow the food underwater. The valve locks. It's like their nostrils. Their nostrils have muscles in them to close the valves on top, the flaps. So they dive underwater now, boom, lock off. Same with the ears. The ears close, so no water gets into the ear. That's how they're very, this is a highly thought out evolutionary process for this particular animal. 200 million years close to, almost unchanged. So these guys, they got it right. Remember, we've only been around in our basic form for about 6-7 million years based on what they're finding in various parts of the world, especially Africa. That's nothing. These guys, 200 million. Almost unchanged. So evolution got it right with them. They got it right, and they're cold-blooded.
Is the same with crocodile, or crocodile different?
No, they're all the same. There are differences, yes. There are.
One crocodile came on the time. And the white man saw the big one saw it. He was so mad that they had to stop the whole game. All the world was not on. They were so scared.
I thought Darren was trying to mess with me.
Mess with you.
I thought Darren was just trying to mess with me. He said, catch a snake. And I was trying to be... They're little snakes though, right?
They're
Like,
not little. They're not little.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna stay like a little bit. So these are boys?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this mesh is mess. All right.
Yeah, but you could have just stayed in it.
Don't.
I've only been bitten once.
That's the little one?
No, the croc. You're talking about
Oh,
Neighbor.
Does the snake have a name too? Today's just the day.
They bite the cats already, you know, because the cats go in there, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they look shake up some like that. They can't too fun. Yeah, not too enough.
You see one in the house, especially if you live in areas like here, Rumpy Hills, where they do find them, Portland side. You know, take a stick and lift the damn thing out and put it up on a tree. What are you killing it for? It's not going to hurt you. Yeah, it can bite, defend itself, but the bite's nothing. Yeah, I know, he's curious. He's been bitten a couple of times already in his box. No, it's a stick.
Close. I'll give you that. You said what's her name?
I don't give them names. I don't. They're just two girls that have got a home because, as I say, you know, they were
They're roommates.
they were damaged, and they've been recovered. He won't trouble. He knows he get bit. The other one the black one got bitten on his nose, on her nose.
Yeah. Cuckoo, get them through the cuckoo.
They're afraid of mongoose.
They're not aggressive.
One of the easiest ways to kill a snake is to hold it too tight behind the head and around the neck. So you can, you know, it damages the throat. Kill the snake. She's just curious.
Hey, bro.
She looked at her and was like, who's that?
Hey.
So we started in October of 2018, and we were operational at the beginning of March. When I say the beginning of March, we were actually bringing back stock animals which we'd stored in various areas back to the facility. So it's been going now, call it 6 years.
So this is open to visitors, groups?
It is open to business. It is a sanctuary. It is not an attraction, which means that I am not a fee charging entity. People can come, they can learn, they can spend the whole day here. They can come and they can picnic. They can go to the seaside. They can just a half a mile away to the beach at Holland Bay. They can walk the place. It's safe. They're not going to get hurt by anybody or any animal. They can enjoy themselves. Learn about the sanctuary, learn what we do, see animals, take pictures, videos, do what they want. It's basically getting people exposed to this particular species as well as the type of environment they live in, and it's an educational process for them.
Is there a need for financial support? Like how
Yes,
stay
there is.
afloat the last
Yeah,
6 years?
my funding, basically, my own savings and resources, and also help from overseas, a couple of overseas entities. But right now, I mean, if people want to visit and they want to leave donations in terms of food, cash in kind, whatever, goes towards the maintenance of the facility. That you know, I welcome it. But we do need funding. It is important to keep going because we are out of the way. We're not on the main road. We're 2 miles in from the main road through the property. We're way in the furthest east of anybody other than the lighthouse keeper, Morant Point. So if you draw a line north to south from Portland right through to the south coast here, and look what's permanent east of that line, it's me or the lighthouse keeper. Nobody else. So we're furthest east in Jamaica.
Earlier you had said it's a nesting season, and
Yeah.
that you could be on a beach side and you're approaching a crocodile nest and the mother comes out and you probably don't know. What advice would you give to persons who encounter crocodiles in this season, perhaps not to harm them or how to be out of their way?
If you happen to go into areas, and it happens a lot in St. Elizabeth too, like on the Parity Strip, where there's a lot of residential areas, and crocodiles go backwards and forwards through the residential area a lot of the time, coming from the wetland to go and nest on the beaches and the rest of it. The thing with the crocodile is, know your nest, know your season. Know that November to June is the nesting period, basically, which is reproduction, gestation of the eggs, laying of the eggs, incubation of the eggs in the ground for 3 months, some hatching around end of May through the month of June mostly. if you do meet up with a crocodile, if you do have to be walking along the beach and you're walking near the edge of the beach, not the seaside, but towards the land, and there's water, especially if there's water behind, like in the bushes, the mangroves, or anywhere like that, then always be vigilant, because female crocodiles are not going to normally nest in an area far, far away from a water source. They need, once they've hatched the babies out, recovered the babies from the nest, they carry them to water. They're not going to carry them a long distance, so they're not going to nest a long distance. So where you have that type of, be aware of your surroundings, in other words. Where you have that type of situation, always be vigilant. You can even see tracks sometimes. You look around, you'll see track marks sometimes where a crocodile, if you see something that's like a mound or a disturbed area, and you see maybe a track, you give it a little wide berth, because the female may be close by, and you don't want to be surprised by her. Because some are basically won't do much, but one or two might actually come forward towards you. And best thing to do in that type of situation is politely turn around and discreetly go the other way.